Getting a little feedback here from somewhere. I know we're missing a couple, but I know they're either on their way. I think maybe Larry is out of town. I hadn't heard from Miss Jackie or Ben. They're probably on their way.
Ben's gonna be late.
Okay.
Ben said he'd be pretty late.
Am I hearing feedback or is that just me? Okay. So I'm gonna call us to order this for our work session, and if you would, Miss Mary, read the call the roll, please.
Chairman Smith,
Here.
Mrs. Black,
Here.
Mr. Connor,
Here.
Mr. Daugherty, Mr. Groan, Mrs. Haddon, here, Mrs. Jones,
Present.
Mr. Keene,
Here.
Mrs. Schaefer,
Here.
Mr. Slater,
Here.
Ms. Thomas, Superintendent Dr. Robertson.
Okay, thank you. I want to welcome everybody to our work session. We have several delegations that have properly registered, signed up to speak. So we look forward to hearing from each one. I would ask that we respect one another, and whoever is at the podium speaking, that we silently listen and to what that person has to say, whether we agree with them or not. And that would be encouragement, advice to everybody. So I'm going to turn this over to my vice chair here, who will read the delegation statement. And go ahead there, Mr. Gary.
Thank you all for your interest in addressing the Hamilton County School Board of Education. During your presentation, please address the board as a whole, not individual board members or the administrators. Also, please do not present complaints or concerns you have about an individual employee of the school system. If you wish to voice those complaints and concerns, you should contact the central office and ask for a meeting with the superintendent, since he is the responsible person for individual employees. Pursuant to board policy 1.404, individuals speaking to the board shall address their remarks to the chair. Each person speaking shall state his or her name, address, and the subject of his or her presentation. Remarks will be limited to 3 minutes. If 3 or more people speak on the same subject, then they are collectively limited to 10 minutes total. By the title of what's been turned in that you're going to be speaking about, we do not have more than 3 talking about that, so you'll all get your 3 minutes. But please remember what you turned in, speak on that topic. So first, we will have Cassie Almond.
While Ms. Almond is coming to the podium, I would note, just for the record, that Mr. Grown has joined us electronically here. You see that? Okay.
Am I good to start whenever?
Name, address, and
So my name is Cassandra Almond, or Cassie. My address is 1021 East 5th Street. And my topic is mental health. So like I said, my name is Cassie. I'm a psychology major at UTC, and for the past 6 years, I've worked in various community mental health settings. For the past 4 years specifically, I've been working with teenagers in Chattanooga. I've worked with kids from every background: Christian, atheist, Democratic, Republic, wealthy, poor, from supportive families, and from foster care. Kids who have all experienced all different types of trauma, from sex trafficking to natural disasters. I've lost count of the amount of times that I've sat on the floor with these kids while they sobbed about wanting to end their life, and I've seen the ligature marks around their necks after they've tried. These are the same kids that you serve, kids who spend hours on end, day after day, for years of their lives in your schools. I began working in the field that I do because I myself was once a traumatized teenager without any hope for my future. And I've experienced personally both sides of the coin, going to a public school with little to no mental health resources and going to a school that provides them. The school with no mental health resources left administration unsure of what to do with me, while teachers tried their best to support me, but were highly unequipped and had no resources to refer me to. Eventually, I was kicked out and I went to a school with resources, and that school quite literally saved my life. You see, much like the children we serve in Chattanooga, I came from a family that had no real issue with therapy, but they saw it as a waste of money. So even after multiple suicide attempts, it wasn't worth it for them to pay for it. For years of my life, the only support that I could access was through my school. So hear me out. We can't afford to keep dragging our feet. It's been over 3 months. Their struggles didn't stop when services did. When considering your vote on potential providers later this evening, I urge you to discuss whether or not you are adequately filling the gap left by 32 previous mental health providers, and what it will look like if you don't. I urge you to fill this gap with neutral, non-politically affiliated, non-religiously affiliated, or otherwise biased providers that can physically and literally meet these kids where they're at. Thank you for letting me share.
thank you. Reed Hampton. She's not.
Reed Hampton. I'm a student at Signal Mountain Middle High School. Before I start, I do want to say congrats to our teachers on getting that union reauthorization. But what I actually signed up for. I do want to take a brief moment to address something I have observed in my time working with this board over the last year. I've noticed that members of this board have slowly forgotten why they ran for their seats. I want to take a brief reminder of why you're here. In my work with elected officials and with candidates, I've learned that everyone runs for office because of one or both of a set of goals. First is a genuine desire to serve your community in the best way possible. In the case of the school board, to serve not just the community, but also the students within the school system. I believe that in your hearts, each and every one of you ran for this seat for this reason. And while we may disagree on how best to do that, I admire your dedication. Second, you may have run looking to someday advance to a higher office where you can help more and more of the community. I say this not to insult, because it's not a bad reason. I think several of you do have this ambition, so let it guide you to continue to do the right by the whole community, because in the long term, that is what will help you move up when you're ready. Going forward from this moment through the remainder of your terms, I urge each of you to remember why you campaigned and asked voters to appoint you to this seat, this job, and to return to that mindset so that you can truly do right by the community and by all of the students whom you serve. Thank you.
Thank you. Ada Hendon. I'm gonna have you go after the, that's all right.
Ada Herndon, District 1. I am aware that at least one of the organizations you will consider today is faith-based. If you vote to instate that organization in that organization alone, there will be more noise than you have ever experienced. You have committed a hypocritical and unjust act. What has happened here every month since September has been a result of fear. What has been claimed as standing up in honor of God. We don't know the same God. Put the reason you're here to care for students above your political and religious affiliations. It is not right to silence what makes you uncomfortable. The uncomfortable enables us to grow. You have to be willing to see beyond the blinders that are covering your eyes, because these groups are our lifelines, not our parents, not our community leaders, ours. What you do up here has no effect on you, but it affects our everyday. Listen to those in which who this decision is affecting. We have showed up every month. We have told you not only what we want, but what we need to survive, literally. The position you are in today, you are there for because our parents and our grandparents trusted you enough to care for us. I don't feel cared for, and I haven't felt cared for months. You won last month. Now it is your duty to do the fair thing. You have a chance to earn back some respect from the community who put you in those seats today. Instate every service on the table. Allow for a diverse set of institutions to care for all students, help all students, love all students. In light of it all, we could give Hamilton County kids more resources than what we had just a few months ago. That's the Jesus I know, the man who brings light through the bleakest of situations. Act as he would today. Give this community's children a fighting chance and a beacon of hope, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Herndon.
Mark Herndon, 2907 Leggett Road. Sorry, I'm a little shaky. I'm so freaking proud of my daughter.
Yeah.
Some of you guys have the fortune of knowing my dad. He taught me a couple things in life. One of the things that I have held on to dearly that he taught me was to devoutly look for beauty in my terrible situations. I've developed that because I have had the misfortune of having a lot of bad things happen to me. I disagree with how you guys got to where you're at. But we have more than one option servicing kids that need help. And you guys have the option to give us that. It didn't start, it didn't sound like, it didn't look like, you didn't talk about it this way, but here we are. We have more for our kids, more, better, more diverse. I don't think there should be any doubt in any of your minds that the vote should be yes to anything that everybody that has worked so hard to put together for this. They passed that. They have met the criteria. Please just say yes to everything and everybody that got through, because our kids are really disappointed in how we have gotten to this place. Imagine what could have happened. Imagine how simple this could have been if instead of how it happened, we would have said, we want more options for our kids. Let's include more. It would have helped us so much to understand, to accept things that happen that we don't to this day understand. Please use this beautiful thing in the midst of a really difficult time to bring beauty to our community and say, yes, our kids actually do matter. Please.
Thank you. All right, we have Jeanette Omarkill.
My entourage.
If you don't mind, if you'd stand behind her, please. Thank you.
Jeanette Omarkill, HCA President, 6731 Flagstone Drive. I'm going to speak about PECA. So good evening, Chairman Smith, board members, and Superintendent Robertson. We are pleased to stand here tonight to share the results of the 2025 PECA vote. Over the past 2 weeks, educators across Hamilton County made their voices heard. 63% of eligible voters said yes to entering collaborative conferencing, affirming their belief in a process that brings educators in the district together to improve our schools. And in an overwhelmingly positive show of confidence, 93% of voting educators selected Hamilton County Education Association to continue representing them during the next phase, continuing a role HCA has held with pride for the past 78 years. We are honored by that trust. Beginning next month, a team representing both the district and teachers will be presented to you. These will be the individuals responsible for conferencing the 6 topics open for discussion under PECA: salaries and wages, grievance procedures, insurance, fringe benefits, working conditions, and leave. We are committed to approaching this work collaboratively, transparently, and with a focus on strengthening teaching and learning conditions for all. As we move forward, HCA will be creating multiple opportunities for educators to share their input, ask questions, and help shape the proposals that reflect their daily experiences in our classrooms and schools. Their voices will guide our work. Thank you for your support of a process that encourages partnership and shared responsibility. We look forward to working together in the months ahead to build a stronger Hamilton County Schools for our students and our educators. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have one that signed up today, Sabrina Daniel.
My name is Sabrina Daniel. I live at 4410 Maryland Drive, Chattanooga, Tennessee, 37412. I've given part of this to you all. I don't know if you read it, tore it up, packed it away. But anyway, if it sounds familiar, part of this was something I didn't have a chance to say. I'm a Christian conservative patriot retired teacher with a couple of administrative degrees. I'm concerned about some of the decisions being made on the Hamilton County School Board. Centerstone Mental Health Services and other groups that I have never heard of, according to Newsbreak, a national news organization that picked up this meeting, that I've never heard of or will be discussed, including a psychiatric group out of Texas on Thursday today. Biblically, children belong to the parents, not the state or the government. However, if this list is available to parents, Centerstone should not be on it. And I know of 4 counseling centers in Chattanooga who should be on the list for parental consideration. Every human being and organization operates out of values, even if they say they have no values. Elbow Tree Counseling on the south side, Roots, Red Bank, Lighthouse, Lee Highway, Henniger, Macaulay Avenue, all of these counsel from biblical principles. Even if you're not a believer, and if you polled Hamilton County parents, I suspect that you would come up with the fact that, no, I don't really care about that, but I would like my children to know a little bit about Judeo-Christian character traits. The foundation, we talked about that already. Parents are given ultimate responsibility over their child's education. They may choose to take the full responsibility, as in homeschooling, which is rapidly growing, or they may delegate some of that responsibility to whomever they choose. The purpose of the school system was to teach reading so they could read the Bible, the world's best read book, teach writing and arithmetic. We have sadly deleted Bible and cursive writing, which is needed for legal documents. We include broader curriculum in the elementary school: reading, handwriting, print, spelling, English, math, science, social studies, music, art, and physical education, not to mention lunch and recess. Wow. Teachers have a monumental task to cover all this well. Truly, it is an impossible job. I believe in supporting students. My tax dollars pay for $22 million in support services, coaches, counselors, and social work positions. I reject outsourcing our children's care to outside groups, and if there are going to be outside groups considered, even a board member said to me, we need to have secular organizations and we need to have faith-based organizations. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. And we are done.
Okay, thank you to all of our delegations. So we've got some presentations. Carter Charter School Board Training.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing us an opportunity to speak to you this evening. Our charter school office mission statement, just as a reminder, states that we will practice rigorous charter school authorization, provide meaningful support, and protect school choice in order to uphold high academic standards, create fair and equitable opportunities, and improve outcomes for students and families in Hamilton County. Our hope tonight is that we equip you so you can assist us as we carry out our mission. Sorry. You have the magic touch. I promise I was hitting the right button. Charter schools were developed to create an alternative vision for schooling to serve a special target population of students or to gain flexibility and autonomy from local school districts. Currently, we have 9 charter schools, and the majority of these schools pull from our Midtown schools. Points the other way, this way? Towards them. Towards the computer. How about I just hand it
There's
to you?
4 of them lined up there. You can
Obviously, target practicing is not my, oh, there we go. Just kidding. Okay. Our nine charter schools currently serve 3,035 Hamilton County students. That is up from 2,950 students at this time last year. Similar to district-wide trends, charter schools that did not add new grade levels saw slight enrollment declines, with the exception of Ivy Academy, which maintained the same number of students. This year is a milestone year for CCSE High School as it graduates its first senior class. We also saw growth through grade expansions at Skillern Elementary, which added 4th grade, and Chatt Academy Community School, which added 8th grade. In terms of governance, most charters operate with their own independent boards, while the 3 CCSE feeder schools share a single governing board. Ivy Academy and Skillern each have their own boards as well, but they work together through an articulation agreement. This table shows the academic performance of our charter schools based on the Tennessee Charter School Performance Framework. Scores range from 1 to 4, with 1 meaning far below standard and 4 meaning exceed standards. Orange highlights show schools performing below the district, green shows at or above, and red indicates embargoed areas, while gray means the school wasn't eligible for a score. Charter school law and policy in Tennessee comes from 3 main sources: Tennessee Code Annotated, the State Board of Education, and the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission, which can authorize schools that an LEA declines. In addition, best practices and training for authorizers are provided by NACSA, or the National Association of Charter School Authorizers. As you learn more about the world of charters, it is important that you understand several key charter terms. The authorizer is the LEA, or agency that approves and oversees the charter school. The charter agreement is the legal contract between the authorizer and the school. A charter school operates under this agreement within the LEA, and a CMO, or charter management organization, manages multiple schools. Currently, Prep Public School is our only CMO. Finally, it's important to recognize that the authorizer fee is a portion of the charter's budget. It's up to 3%, or $35,000 paid to the LEA to support district charter operations. It is critical for our school board to be active participants and properly trained in charter school authorization, because strong planning and informed oversight ensures high quality, equitable educational opportunities. Board engagement supports thoughtful decision-making, clear accountability, and a commitment to excellence, helping the LEA authorize and monitor charter schools effectively while aligning with district goals and state standards. The principles we follow when authorizing charter schools come from the Tennessee State Standards for Quality Authorizing and are outlined in our charter handbook. These principles are: 1, maintain high standards; 2, uphold school autonomy; and 3, protect students and public interest. School autonomy allows a charter to have an independent governing board, hire its own staff, set its vision and culture, choose instructional programs, create schedules, and manage its own budget. In 2018, the Tennessee Department of Education published a model charter school performance framework, and Hamilton County Schools followed suit. Using this framework, the authorizer is required to review each charter annually. State law requires a 5-year review where the charter submits a mini application and a 10-year renewal when the charter must reapply to the LEA to continue operating. In 2026, CCSE Elementary and Montessori Elementary at Highland Park will undergo their 5-year review. We will also be preparing for Chat Prep's 10-year renewal, which must be completed by 2027. I'm a slide ahead. Okay, thank you. In your packet, you'll find the HCS Charter School Framework and the annual authorizer report for later review. This framework guides our reauthorization process and annual evaluations. It's organized into 3 main areas: academic performance and school culture, financial performance, and organizational performance. For academics, we look at student achievement, how the school compares to district averages, and indicators of school culture like attendance, attrition, and teacher retention. Financial performance covers both short-term health and long-term sustainability. Organizational performance includes compliance, programming, facilities, and student and staff rights. The State and Charter Commission recently updated their model framework, so we're updating the HCS framework to align with these standards, which will be implemented next school year. We conduct 2 site visits each year with support from HCS leaders across departments. During these visits, we observe general, special education, and ENL classrooms and interview students, teachers, administrators, board members, and parents. Schools on the state's designation list receive additional site visits, which focus on the specific goals outlined in the school's E-plan. After each visit, we provide detailed feedback to support continuous improvement. As the charter school's LEA and authorizer, we are responsible for monitoring school performance and notifying leadership of any identified deficiencies. To support this, we have a formal procedure for issuing notices to both school administrators and governing boards. While the procedure may appear to follow a step-by-step model, it does not have to progress sequentially. The HCS board or administration may assign a school to any status level at any time if circumstances require immediate attention. Notices may be issued for issues such as noncompliance with a charter contract, state laws, or district policies, failure to meet reporting requirements, or not achieving performance goals. In some cases, schools may be required to develop a performance improvement plan to monitor and track corrective actions. As you all probably remember from last year, we do have an application cycle, and that will be coming up. So in addition to overseeing our existing charter schools, we also evaluate new charter applications. This is guided by Tennessee law and TDOE policy. Applications are due by 11:59 on February 1st, or the next business day if the deadline falls on a weekend. The review process begins as soon as the application is submitted, and applicants may be charged up to $2,500 provided this is communicated in advance. That's important to recognize, because as soon as we get that application is when the clock starts ticking. So I always like to point that out. Letters of intent, let me back up for a second. Letters of intent are due by December 3rd. So you have to submit that letter of intent in order to submit an application. We will identify a review committee to evaluate applications using the state scoring rubric and conduct capacity interviews to ask follow-up questions or gather additional information not included in the application. Once the application is submitted, the HCS board must vote within 90 days. If no vote is made within this period, the application is automatically approved. If denied, the LEA must provide written notice and feedback within 10 days. If the applicant updates and resubmits the application, the board has 60 days to vote again. Again, if no vote occurs, the application is deemed approved, and denials require notice and feedback within 5 days. At that point, applicants may appeal to the Tennessee Public Charter School Commission within 10 days of a denial. The commission makes a final decision within 75 days. If approved by the commission, there's a 30-day period for the district and the applicant to reach a mutual agreement if we choose to do so. If no agreement is reached, then the commission becomes the authorizer, even though the school operates within our district. And just for your information, we currently do not have any official letters of intent. However, we have received some correspondence indicating that we may be getting a letter of intent by that deadline. When a school board considers authorizing a charter school, their responsibility is to conduct thorough due diligence. This means evaluating multiple critical areas to ensure the school can succeed and serve the community effectively. Boards must review the proposed school's academic quality, financial stability, governance structure, legal compliance, operational readiness, and community impact. They also need to verify the integrity and track record of the operators and assess potential risks along with mitigation strategies. Throughout this process, boards are encouraged to reach out to the charter school office for guidance. Additionally, the review committee will provide a recommendation report that includes detailed findings and can serve as a basis for developing further questions. By carefully examining each of these components, the board fulfills its obligation to make informed, responsible decisions that protect students and taxpayers alike. I'm glad Mr. Groen is joining us via Teams this evening because I want to give him a special shout out tonight. He asked very thoughtful questions and made sure to seek clarification last year regarding a school application located within his district. So please always know that we are here for a resource and reach out to us during that application cycle or any time during the school year. As an authorizer, we do get evaluated by the state board. This is required by TCA. TCA requires biannual evaluations of all charter authorizers, with self-evaluations conducted in alternate years. We are currently in our third evaluation cycle. The state board evaluation team uses a rubric aligned with the quality charter authorizing standards to assess 5 areas: agency commitment and capacity, application process and decision-making, performance contracting, oversight and evaluation, and amendment, renewal, and revocation. Each area includes standards and substandards to measure compliance and quality, and authorizers are rated from 0 to 4 based on how well criteria are met. The State Board of Education will submit final evaluation reports for approval during the State Board's February meeting, so we will know how we did at that point. If you are interested in learning more, the Tennessee School Board Association offers training for board members, which are recorded and available upon request. They have recently also added an additional feature, and they offer online professional development opportunities that focus on charter schools that count toward your state-required training hours. So if any of you members need some hours and want to learn more about charter schools, please note that that is on the TSBA website. Additionally, the NACSA Leadership Conference, held each fall, provides sessions specifically designed for board members to enhance their knowledge and effectiveness in charter school governance. Exciting news, the conference for the next 2 years will be taking place in Nashville, so not too far away. So if you are free and available, the conference typically takes place in October right after fall break. So we would love for you to join us at that conference. If you have any other questions, my contact information is included, and you can also reach out to Jim Bowles, who is the Director of Choice for the district. We are both happy to answer any questions you may have.
Can you answer a couple right now?
Absolutely.
Okay, I got some lights on up here.
Absolutely. Happy to answer whatever you have.
Mr. King?
Could you go back to slide 4?
Certainly. Let's see, I'm not sure which one slide 4 was.
It's
Slide
your-
2.
Assessment
Keep-
results.
You're on 8 right now, so there you go, right there.
Perfect.
So, two things. Why are those embargoed right now? Why are the 2 categories embargoed?
The state has not released them yet.
And that's my next question was, when do you think those will be released?
I'm going to look to my experts over here. Do we know when the state, Shannon, is going to release that information?
So the chronic absenteeism and state report card, they're embargoed. Now I know the state report card when it comes out, but regular schools have received the chronic absenteeism already.
They have received the chronic absenteeism. The state report card will become unembargoed. I think they're telling us in January.
Probably been.
Okay,
And so I'll check on that exact date, but it's when the state report card goes live that becomes unembargoed.
okay. So my question on that was, is it marked red just because it's embargoed and you don't know what color to put it? Or is it marked-
It's marked red, so I don't get in trouble by the state and release information that I don't have, I'm not allowed to release. So as soon as, it was my understanding that the chronic absenteeism category is still under embargoed. If it is not, I am happy to share that information with you.
Okay. And then the last question I have, who ends up, and maybe it's Mr. Bowles' question, but who ends up on the review committee that makes the different
Yeah, I think I can answer that question. Mr. Bowles is definitely encouraged to come up and share as well. We seek representatives from each department, making sure that we have experience represented from EXED, ENL, nonprofit agencies is important that we have that lens. We team up with legal to provide input, but it is a teaching and learning depending on the grade levels, the grade bands. We have teaching and learning sit in on that. It's a wide array to make sure that we're looking at it from every lens, including facilities and operation. We pull from them as well, financial.
My reason for asking that, like Ivy and Skillern have a different concept of school going into some of the other charter schools. And I didn't know if the review committees were specific to that type of school or if it was a general review committee.
It is a general review committee, but as we review applications, that is one part, a component of being a charter school is that you are offering something that isn't just cookie cutter from your home zone school. So those are questions that we intentionally ask, especially during the capacity interview. That is part of the written application too, is to explain your programming, why it's necessary, why your community needs that type of programming. That is also the updated framework will also have a component that targets the specific mission of the charter school.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Quick question. If you can back up to slide 3, where you give us the number of students at each location.
Yes.
Is there a significance that some of them are listed in red and some
Yeah.
are in green?
Yes, and I apologize, I didn't give you a key on that. The red are where schools saw a decline in enrollment. The green is where you see an increase in enrollment. I will point out the 3 that have the green are schools that added a grade level. So that is a correlation to their increased enrollment. And then purple for Ivy is because they stayed the exact same as last year.
Okay. Got kind of a follow-up to that.
Certainly.
Capacity. Where do these schools stand in terms of what their capacity is?
So I cannot answer each specific because I don't know what is in their contract agreements. That is part of their agreement. I will tell you that Ivy, I think, is at capacity. And Skillern for their current enrollment. They are both at capacity.
Okay.
The others, I would have to look at what contractually they're allowed to. Within their contract, it says how many students they can enroll.
Skilling will be when they add their fifth grade.
Right.
Right.
This coming year.
They've anticipated a general number that they.
Correct. And they will this year when they add fifth grade.
Okay. No other lights, any other questions? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Okay, that takes us down to our quarterly benefits updates, which is always a fun conversation.
Hi, good evening. I'm Penny Murray, and we are here to provide just a quarterly update. We've been working with the Finance Committee, and we thought this would be helpful information for the board going into budget season as well. So I'm going to let Brent Wick from our broker, he's going to lead the conversation tonight.
Good evening. Kind of reference a lot of the information we went over back when we did the annual review several months ago. Hopefully directionally I get this right. There we go. So just to level set and remind you this exact same information we looked at prior, but just from a budget standpoint, last year, our health plan ran at just over $86 million. The budget for this current year is around $91.5 million. Just to give kind of a level set of what that's total cost, not the school actual cost. Part of that's paid by employees and then part paid by a school board. That's 91.5% represents about a 6% in total cost increase that was expected. We're going to go through kind of how the plan is running so far this quarter. I do want to remind you all that the changes that have been made with pharmacy and the multiple things that were voted on prior, most of those do not impact cost until the last half of the fiscal year. So you'll see some that were over budget slightly now. That's expected because the savings comes in the last half of the year to offset that. And I'll try to highlight that a little bit. So this is a graph that I thought would be helpful just as you see this, hopefully on a regular basis every quarter, just to see how costs are trending. If you remember, we looked at and compare a lot of things when we look at health plan costs on a quarterly basis or on a per employee per month basis. And so what you see here is in the top section is the number of employees that are actually enrolled in the health plan. And then in the bottom are the actual cost on a per employee per month basis demonstrated by each quarter. And you'll see on the far right side, so enrollment is slightly down for the first quarter of the fiscal year. Our costs are the $14.89. That represents about a 7.2% increase in cost. So if you compare, budget increase was about 6%. We're running at about 7.2% increase. So the point that I made as far as we are running slightly above, that's expected because we see the savings in the last half. If I took that savings we're expecting and I apply that to the quarter and annualize that and just spread it out, we'd actually be more like about a 4.7, 4.8%. So we're in line with where we expect to be. I think it's important to note healthcare continues to be pretty dynamic. It's an extremely challenging market. We see cost increases much more significant than we have in many years. In fact, I've done this for 31 years. I got to go back about 21 years since I've seen what we're going through now from a cost perspective and how costs are increasing. So a lot of the actions that you all agreed to and have put in place are extremely important to continue to manage the health plan on an ongoing basis. Couple of things that also happened during this first quarter that skewed when we start breaking it down to short periods of time and look at it on quarter basis. We had a large claim, $566,000 that was paid in that first quarter. Not abnormal. I mean, we've had claims like that in the past in the health plan, but when you look at it in just a quarter and it was all paid that quarter, it's going to skew the numbers a little bit. So there is a little bit of an impact on a quarter basis just because we had that one very significant claim come through. One thing in the past, the question was asked on a per claim. And so I'm going to give you kind of category how things are actually tracking. We start looking at it more from a utilization basis. But on a per claim basis, the medical claim, if we look how you take all the number of claims, the average cost per medical claim is 2.6%. Per pharmacy claim is an increase of 3.4%. So kind of in line with what we'd expect. Obviously, that means we've had more claimants or more claims. When we look at that on a quarter or a short period of time, that doesn't tell you because there is seasonality to how many claims you have different times of the year. Some other analytic key points that we track, and obviously I've got an entire packet of data that my team is constantly looking at. But if you look at some key things, we talked about enrollment, membership, the employee count's down about 2% for the quarter. And that's in the far right-hand side. That is actually giving you what the result is compared to the last quarter when we presented the information. Dependents are down a little less than 2%. Overall, membership has declined. Spouses stayed about the same. So we didn't see a change in the spouse enrollment. One of the key things that's important that did improve is when we look at risk. So we look at the risk score for employees, we look at risk score for dependents and spouses, and the actual spouse risk score did decrease. So that's a good directional move that we saw in the first quarter. This goes a little bit further. We kind of trying to benchmark like what drives our cost, and the story hasn't changed so much since we looked at it last. In terms of pharmacy continues to be the significant driver, and this is giving kind of that picture of where we stack up pharmacy costs to benchmark. I always say be careful with benchmark. Most benchmarks aren't just public sector data, and so if you do that, it brings it a little bit more normal. This is a national database, but directionally, if we adjust for that, we're still significantly higher in pharmacy. That was one of the big changes that was voted on and being implemented for January 1 is to address the pharmacy cost and what we're paying per prescription and those items. So hopefully we'll see some improvements from a pharmacy cost perspective. But all in all, there's not any category that really, if you look on the right of that page, that's really jumping out with significant increase. I mean, medical cost on a per employee, 2%. Pharmacy cost is right around 2%. You break it down into the categories, inpatient decreasing, that's been happening for years because so much is moved to outpatient services. And you see the outpatient increase there, which is the highest category. But that is all normal. We see that on a regular basis. So the key thing I would point out there is just the continued pharmacy still remaining one of our key drivers and where we're at in relation to if you benchmark against peers. Looking at it from a member cost, so we have, as the health plan cost goes up, it affects what percentage is being paid by the health plan versus what percentage is being paid by employees and their family members when they actually use the health plan and have a claim at a doctor's office or a hospital pharmacy. In overall, the total number is still at 95. That's the same as it was. But when we look at just pharmacy, we see about a 0.5% decrease in what employees are paying. So closer to 2.5%. When that was last time we met, that was closer to 3%. And a lot of that's because we see pharmacy costs increasing, copays stay the same. So the plan picks up more of the cost. And so right now you look at medical inflation on a national basis is set at about 8.5%. And so you're absorbing all of that every time somebody goes to the pharmacy, those drugs go up 8.5%. The health plan pays the full 8.5% because the copay stayed the same. So just important measures. I've got a benchmark stat there. If you look at 88% would be kind of more the benchmark. Give you a reference. The state of Tennessee health plan is pretty close to that 88% versus 95%. And just to reiterate what that really says. So you go to the doctor's office, it's $100. What that 95% means is that the health plan's paying $95 of that on average. The employee's paying $5 of that. And so when you think about the difference, that in essence, the simple way to look at that would be the health plan's about 7% richer than the benchmark, which we, I think, have walked through and presented, but just gives kind of perspective of how good the benefits are currently in place. Couple of looking at it from a cost perspective, things that continue to have an impact on costs. A retiree health plan, which is retirees typically do cost more. That's the benefit of having retiree benefits to be taken care of when we all probably need a little more attention. But in total, retirees cost the plan about almost $8.7 million. If you compare the cost of a retiree versus an active employee, it's about 28% more. And so one of the actions that we're taking, we're adjusting what retirees pay for insurance based on the contracted rates. We're closing part of that gap that gets about $400,000 of that, but we'd still be only closing about half the gap of what that should be. But just important to kind of keep perspective of what the actual costs are. And what's driving when we look at what retirees versus actives do cost. Give you just a summary kind of other key cost drivers. And a lot of this is because we talked about them, I just want to make sure we highlight them again. Spouses continue to cost the plan more than an employee. Previously, when we looked at this, they were 21% more. This quarter, it's actually gone up to 42% more. The word of caution there and being careful with that is the large claim was a dependent. And so that's going to skew that number. It will come back down throughout the year. But that is definitely still a significant impact to the plan. I mentioned that the national trend sitting at 8.5%. So that's kind of, you think about, you have this exact same services, which we don't every year. That's going to change, but you have the exact same things done and still cost 8.5% more. So what do we do? How do we continue to manage that? And I think historically, schools have done very well at trying to be proactive with the on-site clinics, on-site pharmacies, and all the different things that have been done to try to address that. But important that we continue to do so going forward. Population risk status, so the risk score staying constant is actually a really good thing. That typically deteriorates year over year, meaning the risk score goes up because as we age, we get less healthy. And so the fact that that's staying constant is actually a favorable outcome. Already talked about retirees. The large claim has an impact, so that'll mitigate. And we would expect that actually will get a little better. There's two other things I just wanted to highlight. One is the time to process. So these kind of gets into the weeds of things, but it does affect when we're looking at just a quarter cost. When Blue Cross Blue Shield, who is paying part of the claims, Cigna pays part of the claims, depending on which health plan employees are enrolled in. When their turnaround time on claims changes, and it will vary throughout the year just based on different time, that actually can drive up health plan costs for that quarter or artificially lower just because you might have paid 3 extra days of claims during that quarter or 3 less days of claims. And so that has an impact. And in this month, actually, or this quarter had a decent impact of about $300,000 just because of what the turnaround time actually increasing. So just a key point that has a separate effect of your incurred but not reported costs actually go down because if you pay them faster, you don't have as many at the end of the year that have been incurred but not paid yet. So that liability goes down on the books. And that actually went down by about 4.7% this quarter. The other, just to close it and open up for any questions you may have, we talked about kind of where currently we'd be slightly above budget. That's the expectation when you look at it, because all the savings are all driven in the second half of the year. So that's going to be the when we would hope to see that kind of level out. And as we look at that on an annual basis, we're kind of in the position we would have expected us to be at this point. So with that, if you have any questions, happy to answer anything that I can.
Ms. Black.
Couple questions.
Sure.
Slide 6, why were we so off for our benchmark for pharmacy claims? Is there like something you can point to as to why we're so far above what we had expected?
Yeah, so probably the biggest driver there is going to be the benefit, how rich it is. And because this is all reporting on what plan paid. And so on average, the benchmark, the overall is 88%. Pharmacy is going to be 88, 86%, would be probably even slightly lower a lot of times. And so if you figure that's 10% of that difference is just you just have a richer benefit. Employees pay a lot less than most employers would when they pick up prescriptions. And that lines up because, I mean, there's prescriptions that are covered at 100% and lower copays. So that would be a big drive of that.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, the GLP-1s, which is now used for diabetics, but also continued push for other indications, I mean, have driven a significant impact. They're on everybody. They're number one in everybody's list as far as category, and they're number one for the schools as well. And more continues to get taken care of in pharmacy. I mean, cancer, for instance, there's many cancers out there that used to be chemo, radiation, and now it's a prescription. It's something you're getting through the pharmacy, and that so we avoid cost here, but it now moved into pharmacy.
And I think too, with the new PBM, and Brent can speak to it, that will mitigate a lot of those costs, in particular with the specialty drugs that he mentioned for cancer and other conditions. So that should help us. And that again goes in effect January 1. We're going to be sending out more information so employees are aware, because instead of having your Cigna card or your Blue Cross card, you go to the pharmacy, you'll receive an ARTS benefit card. So that will be new and different, but it is going to save us a significant amount of money.
Yeah, and the fortunate part of that from the RFP that was done, a lot of that comes from like unit cost savings, so the price of the drug. There's going to be some level of change. There always is change if you change pharmacy benefit management companies, but much of that savings just comes from we buy that drug cheaper than what we are today, which is the best way to save money. Is we're not taking something away, we just buy it at a lower price point.
Okay. Also, the retiree benefit. I just wanted to kind of clarify for everyone. Do we offer this as a benefit because we can provide this at a significantly lower cost than one of our retirees can purchase on the marketplace?
So what retirees are paying for coverage is significantly less than what's available on the marketplace.
Okay. So this is a way of taking care of our former employees, and that's why we do this. And we can offer it a lot cheaper than they can get it on the marketplace as an individual.
Yeah, I mean, cheaper, and there's still a significant cost to the school board. What they're paying is less. Okay. In total, I mean, they might get it cheaper through the marketplace because you have subsidies and those kinds of things. If you're not making income and you're retired and have a lower income, you may get subsidized care. So that could be the case, but it is definitely cheaper than what they're going to pay most of the time.
So we're actually going to discuss this a little later. I don't know if you saw on the agenda, but currently, if an employee retires from Hamilton County Schools and they have 5 years of service and they meet the age requirements and TCRS requirements, then they can potentially maintain our retiree insurance. they could stay on it for 10, 15 years. And most other employers, well, no other employer does that. So we're going to talk a little bit later tonight, but even the state of Tennessee, you have to have worked for a school district for 20 years. And actually, you have to have been hired before July 1, 2015. So we have been very generous. We want to take care of our amazing retirees, but the ones who put in long-term service. So what we're proposing is to change that to classified 15 and certified 20 years.
Okay, so do they stay past their 65th birthday?
No, they
No.
roll
Okay.
off at
Okay,
65,
that's what I
but
thought.
if they retire at 55, then we have them for 10 years. Or if they have a spouse who's 15 years younger than they are, then we also have that spouse.
Okay, Mr. King?
And so as I was speaking on the same thing, as I was looking into it, two things, and I talked to Dr. Robertson, so we're going to look at talking about not the actual HCS employee, but their spouse at a later time. But as I was looking through that, I came across the name of the two plans, legacy plan and hybrid plan. Explain the difference in what those two plans are.
So those are the TCRS pension plans. And so the legacy plans would be what you and I were on, Gary. But anyone newly hired, I can't remember the date off the top of my head, but it's in the recent years, then they would be on the hybrid plan, which is part pension, part 401k. Yes.
So it's a combination.
Yes. And the state has different age requirements for those retirement eligibilities.
Ms. Black, did you said, okay. Okay.
One more question, Chairman, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I do want to thank Brent for coming and putting all this together, and Penny, all your efforts as well. The quarterly report in its entirety is incredibly extensive, and I think it's testament that you guys are doing a really good job. So I want you to know we appreciate it, and I know it's a lot of work. I continue to believe that this is an area that is arguably the most volatile when it comes to just the impact on the overall budget. So having these kind of conversations is helpful. And I think it's helpful for the board, for myself, to just get a better understanding of it. So we appreciate that. I think ultimately it's what we're trying to figure out is, and I know Dr. Brown will agree with this, is what's the balance with providing a great salary plus great benefits while remaining competitive. And I don't think anybody has the exact right answer to that, but that's the direction we're ultimately trying to go with these kind of conversations. So I just want to thank Brent for all his work and for coming out here on a rainy Thursday.
No, I much appreciate it, and hopefully we continue that opportunity because I think it's really helpful to make sure y'all understand kind of how things are progressing. And gives us a chance, I think, to be proactive with the whole thing. So we appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, no more lights. Brett, Penny, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Okay, that'll take us down to our committee chair updates, and I'll just start to my far left over here and call on Mr. Connor, Transportation. Any updates there?
Yeah, we spoke, excuse me, the board members spoke about an incident last month, and I think that the way that I mentioned we'd be putting into getting information out showcased this week when one of our buses hit a deer, and we were all aware of it. We were aware that no students were harmed. The deer in question is, we do not know if it was harmed, but probably. So, but yeah, I think the system is working, so I'm happy to say that.
Yeah. Okay, policy, please.
Yeah, our policy committee meeting is on Monday, December 8th at 5 o'clock. This is our quarterly 2 policy meeting where we'll be discussing policies in section 5, which is the personnel section. We will discuss this month's submitted first reads that's on our agenda tonight, and any other policies requested to be discussed during that time.
Okay, and again, that date?
December 8th
December
at 5
8th.
o'clock.
Okay, school safety, Ms. Schaefer.
I will be meeting with Robert Sharp privately for an update December the 19th. We already have that scheduled. Then we can talk as the board, as that's not really a public committee. And then legislative, we are joining the policy on December the 8th to talk about the legislative goals.
Okay, good. December the 8th at 5 o'clock. Facilities, Mr. King.
Facilities meeting will be December 1st at 5:30, hopefully holding it for an hour. We are wrapping up a video project that you'll all get to see what phase 1, 2, 3, and 4 has kind of produced, and then that we will share with our county commissioners. We'll also, we have a phase 5 coming up that we'll need to discuss. And we'll do, for some of you had questions, we'll do a report on our ABM and some things there. And then the last thing we'll do is just a little proposal for our maintenance department. So that'll be December 8th, 5:30. Okay. Thank you.
Wait, December.
I mean, December 1st, 5:30. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Moved it to the 1st.
December 1st. Okay. Finance, Mr. Daugherty.
No major updates, but I will look to schedule a finance committee meeting in December at a time that hopefully works for everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
TBD.
Athletics, Mr. Slater down there.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be getting with Penny about the first recommendation from the advisory committee. We would like to discuss this at the policy meeting, policy 4.304, as far as adding the mission and vision statement to our athletics.
Okay, very good. Okay, takes us down to discussion of our board agenda. You have a question, Ms. Jones? Yes.
This question is for the legislative chair. Will you be providing a update on what happened at TSBA at the legislative meeting on the 8th for those that may not have been in attendance? or
Yes,
present?
ma'am.
Good, thank you. Okay, takes us down to our discussion of our board meeting agenda. And as we always do, we usually don't get this far, so we're doing well. I'll just ask if anyone has a desire to bring something up that's on the agenda rather than going through this step by step. So anybody that has something you'd like to just throw out there right now would be the time to do it. Go ahead, Mr. King.
All right, and this isn't, so on 7A, PE, and CTE textbook adoption, was there a reason that was on my computer? It came in almost so light that I could not read it. And I'm not sure, but that was the only page that was like that. It was the font they, okay. I wondered, and mine's a real small, so, but I had actually had trouble reading that. So I was just going to ask that question. And then on 10A2, the hard to staff schools, I needed maybe if you could give a definition of the difference between promise, hope, and legacy. What it was.
Yes, sir. The Promise School and the Hope Schools are our schools that they're categorized. We've been used for many years, different subgroups for our students. But all in all, we have a limited number. I'm going to try to pull up the list here for a second for our Promise Schools as well as our Hope Schools. What I can do, and actually,
Well, it was the legacy. I hadn't heard that term before.
yes, sir. I believe it's 3 years ago as we were looking at our budget and making sure that we are the funds are going to the right schools. We end up rolling off some of the schools. I believe like a Spring Creek. It was a 4 or 5 schools, East Ridge Middle. But the idea of the hard to staff was to maintain retention. So the teachers that elected to stay there, we held them harmless, right? So as long as they maintain their service at that school, they still receive the Hope funding.
Okay. All right. That was the one that clears that.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody else got something you want to just lay out there? Well, that's good. Might mean we're going to be in for a
Don't do it.
don't jinx us. Okay. Okay. Well, if no one has anything, then I'm going to adjourn the work session. We'll take a little break and be back in about 10 minutes. Okay? Meeting adjourned. order. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. We can have the roll call, please. Here.
Mrs. Black?
Here.
Mr. Connor?
Here.
Mr. Doherty?
Here.
Mr. Groan?
He's here.
He's
He on mute.
Yeah. Mrs. Haddon?
Here.
Mrs. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Keen?
Here.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Here.
Mr. Slater?
Here.
Ms. Thomas?
Here.
Superintendent Dr. Robertson?
Here. Thank you. I need a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So moved. This is the consent agenda?
Yes.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. This is our total agenda. Okay, I think I heard a motion somewhere, didn't I? Okay. Did I hear it? Get a second?
Second.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Bill Jackie seconded. Okay.
Okay. All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. Black?
Yes.
Mr. Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Groan? Mrs. Haddon?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Keen?
Yes.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Slater?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Chairman Smith?
Yes. So takes us down to pledge and flag meditation. Miss Shackelford, Dalewood Middle School. What a great place.
All right, can you guys please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the moment of silence. You may be seated. Good evening. My name is Shalonda Shackelford, and I'm the proud principal of Dalewood Middle School. Our theme this year is Believe in You and Lead Like You Do. And that is what I want to discuss with you guys tonight. Every morning and every afternoon, I say these words to my students. Believe in you, believe with your heart, believe with your mind, and believe in your soul that you can and will be great. You got this because you have us, and we got you. When I say believe in you, as a believer, that is the God in me. Jesus Christ gives me the tools and the strength I need to accomplish anything. If you are not a believer, that is okay as well. Then that is the inner voice or the feeling that you get that is saying, you can do this. So to our Hamilton County Schools Board, our superintendent, our deputy superintendent, and everyone here tonight, you guys get the pleasure of making decisions for the ones that matter the most to us, our children. As you look around and you see the children in the boardroom and the children in your community, the children in the grocery stores, and even the children in your home, just think, they are our future. And in the words of Whitney Houston, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind you of how we used to be. So every decision you make won't be easy. Every decision that is made should feel right from within or from the word of God speaking to you. Every decision you make should be because of your love for our children and your belief in them. For Principal Month, my staff did something for me. They did something that I didn't even know I needed. They reminded me of my purpose and my why. So question, do you surround yourself with people that remind you of your purpose and your why? Because if not, you need to. It will awaken something in you that you didn't think you needed. It will inspire you to continue the work that God put you on this earth for. And in our case, the work of ensuring that every student, every 44,909 experienced a future without limits. So I leave with you these words. Believe in you. Believe with your heart, believe with your mind, and believe in your soul that you can and will be great. You got this because you have us, and we got you. So believe in you and lead like you do. Thank you.
Ms. Shackelford, every time I hear you speak, I think that you need to give the the pregame talk at the Super Bowl. Thank you. Thank you. Before we go to our exemplars of excellence, I want to just make sure that we take just a minute, and I'm going to call on Miss Jones to do this, to just step back for a minute and remember, Miss Jones.
Today is November 20th, 2025. 9 years ago on November 21st, 2016, we experienced something in our community that has been forever life-changing, and that is known as the Woodmore bus tragedy. Out of that tragedy, we have seen those families that were affected, the students, the school community, the administrators, the teachers, and all that were involved at Woodmore at that time. We have seen them go from tragedy to triumph as they are resilient and they strive every day to be better because of the children that we lost that day. And so I just want to take this time to read a quick litany. It's by two Jewish rabbis, and I've heard this a lot, but I want to share it tonight. It's by Rabbi Sylvan Kamens and Rabbi Jack Reimer, and it's called We Remember Them. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, we remember them. In rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are always a part of us as we remember them. So all the families of the Woodmore Bus 366 experience, those that we lost and those that we still have, we remember you today as we embark upon the anniversary of that day. Godspeed to you.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Jones. We'll never forget. Okay, takes us down to exemplars of excellence, and we have several. We'll start with Coach Tim James. Come on, Coach.
Thank you, Chairman and distinguished board members. There's a lot of really great things going on in Hamilton County Schools right now when you start looking at not just the academic portion, but the athletic portion. We've had successful middle school seasons in fall sports, and we're rolling into winter sports. We still currently have 3 football teams that are still alive in the third round, hosting the quarterfinals of the state football playoffs. Basketball is cranked up now, wrestling's cranked up, and we've had some great success out of our fall sports. So that's what we're here to recognize tonight. I asked Mr. Carpenter, Coach Carpenter from Signal Mountain here a minute ago, if he was tired of coming down here yet. It's good to be. I've actually learned his roster's name by this point. So we're here to first of all recognize the girls cross country team for establishing and winning the state championship this year. So I want to go ahead and recognize Mr. Daugherty as the board member from the learning community. Also, Dr. Shane Harwood, Coach Dustin Carpenter here. I don't know if you noticed Coach Carpenter, but if you look at him, his arms are kind of abnormally long, and that's from all the weight of the rings that he has from all the state championships. But we're going to go ahead, and Grayson Glover was his assistant. She was unable to attend tonight. We're going to introduce the girls 2025 state championship cross-country team from Signal Mountain High School. I'm going to kind of jump down on the agenda. This makes their 11th state championship in school history. I just kind of let that sink in for 11 state championships. Coach, you're going to get 2 for each finger by the time you're done? Or, I mean, you're trying to get to 20. Okay. This last one, but all right. We got the 19. Well, It's with immense pride and admiration that we recognize the Signal Mountain Girls Cross Country Team in its 11th state championship of school history. They secured their 4th state championship in a row. Of course, that's 11 state championships in 13 years. That's a pretty good track record, and something that has not been equaled by any other public school in the state of Tennessee. Signal Mountain Girls Cross Country is now the winningest girls cross country public school in the state of Tennessee. So that is quite the accomplishment. And so we're gonna bring these young ladies up. Coach Carpenter is going to hand out the certificates. We're going to get you lined up in front. School board member daughter, you will get the picture. Mr. Harwood, if you'd like to come up behind me. Okay. Dr. Robertson, it's up to you. But anyway, let's go ahead and introduce these fine young ladies. Placing 4th this year overall in the state. They also secured 5 individual all-state runners off of one team, which is practically unheard of in the sport of cross country. But 4th place was Maxine Richards. 6th place overall was Eliza Albrechtson. 13th was Miss Naomi Malone. Placing 14th was Adeline Glover. 15th was Miss Lily Paxson. Placing 32nd was Jaden Egan. Placing 43rd was Mackenzie Lockery. And Signal Mountain's alternate for the race was Marley Shell. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been to a cross-country meet. It looks like a massive humanity. So when you're saying you place 43, you're playing 43 out of several hundred runners at the same time. So quite the accomplishment for you ladies. We are so very proud of you and how you've represented Hamilton County Schools, and just congratulations on this great accomplishment. Let's give them a round. You want to grab it? Maxine, are you strong enough to lift that trophy? Okay. Oh.
Coach James, how many are seniors?
I don't have that information, Mr. King. Two are seniors. Dr. Harwood, are you going to be requesting a work order for new trophy case space up there? All right.
Just turn your shoulders in. And then everyone like squish in.
Coach James, some people may not understand cross country, the distance they run and the time that the sports place runs.
I'm going to let Coach Carpenter answer that. Chairman Smith, I've never ran over 3 miles unless somebody was chasing me. So, Coach Carpenter, the length.
I would like to know that.
Coach Carpenter, the length of the race is 3.1 miles, and how fast are your kids running that 3 point?
Top runner's running it in about 18 minutes.
6 minute miles. Yep.
So 18 to about 19 and some change.
Wow.
So
we'd have to be a big bear chasing me for you to make that time. Coach, we're so proud of you guys. Thank you for all you do. We wish you continued success. So this is a big night for Signal Mountain. Not only are we recognizing their girls cross country team, but we're also recognizing their boys golf team. Under first year coach, and I told him, I said, it's setting the standard pretty high, coach. You know, your first year ever coaching and you win a state championship, no pressure next year, right? So Coach Carson Johnson, Coach, if you come on up here. And then his assistants, Carter Kelly and Rodney Mitchell, could not be present tonight. But we want to talk about your golf team for a minute. You had a first ever state championship, boys, for Signal Mountain in your first year ever coaching. So congratulations to you and the Signal Mountain Eagles. I know that's something you can never take away from you. No matter how long you coach, it's always going to be there. But you had a bunch of great guys that helped you out and get there. So we're going to recognize these gentlemen. And so if we call your name, if you will come up as we call your name, we'll hand out your certificate. We'll kind of repeat what we did with your state champion girls cross country team. So the first team member is Henry Beasley. Mr. Tucker Cruz. Mr. Brody Foreman. Braden Helly. Kirby Last. Benjamin Lewis. Robinson McGee. Luke Otwell. And Luke Sledger. Now, your coach did tell me they call you Sledgehammer. So you can knock it. You can knock it straight and far. Well, guys, it's also I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce an individual state champion. In golf, you have an individual state champion, then you have team state champion. So in honor, it's my honor to introduce Sam Otwell, a distinguished member of the Signal Mountain Boys golf team and 2025 state champion. Through exceptional skill, dedication, and sportsmanship, Sam played a vital role in leading his team to victory and upholding the proud tradition of excellence of Signal Mountain golf. So, guys, thank you so much for being competitive and bringing the crown back to Chattanooga. And, how many of you are seniors? Okay, so just two. No pressure on you young guys, all right? All right, so bring it back to back. So we're going to go ahead and get a picture with Coach, board members, etc. And thank you. While we're doing that, I want to brag on Signal Mountain Middle High. They have achieved a remarkable milestone. Since opening its doors in 2008, the Eagles have secured 41 state championships in various sports. That is an amazing record, unequaled by any other Hamilton County sport. So, congratulations, gentlemen.
Congratulations.
Good job, Coach.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Way to hit it.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations. And congratulations.
Yes, sir. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations again, young men. Coach James, stay right where you are. And Robert, Dr. Sharp.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman Smith and board. Good to see you all this evening. Anytime we see Tim James' name on the agenda, we all get excited because we know he's going to bring us good news about our student athletes in Hamilton County. And tonight, we're going to honor Tim James. And I'm very honored myself to be able to read a little thing here about Tim and the work he's done and the recognition he recently received from the TSSAA. So I'll read this to you. We are pleased to recognize Tim James and extend our congratulations to his selection as the 2025 AF Bridges Athletic Director of the Year for District 3. Tim recently received this award at the TSSAA ceremony last week, I think, the 13th. Tim exemplifies professionalism, responsiveness, and unwavering dedication to student athletes across Hamilton County. His leadership ensures that our athletic programs run smoothly and that every school receives the support it needs to succeed. Beyond the playing field, Tim's positive impact is felt throughout our schools and community. We are proud to celebrate this achievement with him and grateful for his commitment to advancing athletics across the region. And Tim, we've got a certificate here for you signed by Superintendent Robertson and Chairman Smith.
Tim, you need to walk.
And he might want to say something too. He might want to say something.
Mr. Chairman, while he's doing that, I just want to publicly say how much Tim has meant to our athletic department. He's the first full-time athletic director, but the impact that he has made in this county is tremendous. And Tim, just publicly want to say thank you for agreeing to do this job and doing a great job with it.
Larry, mute your computer.
When you're done, if I could say something about Mr. James also. So, Mr. James, I have a question real quick. Will that sit right next to the award you got at Central High School when you were George Thorogood, Bad to the Bone, Teacher Talent Show champion?
Little known things about Tim James, right?
You done told all his business.
I would have been sure about 1993, so that tells you how old I am. Thank you.
Okay. What I'm about to do, you guys already know about, so I want to make sure that you guys know about, and I guess we're on TV, the public needs to know about. Being a school board member is hard. It's hard. And I believe that I can very safely say that the 11 of us care about kids and families, or we wouldn't be serving. And all of us probably spend a whole lot more time than what we're compensated to do. And then some spend even more time than others. But one of our peers has accomplished something that's never been done in the history of Hamilton County school boards. And we want to honor Ben Connor tonight. Ben has received his level 5 as a school board member, which is the highest honor that you can achieve as a school board member. And what makes that specifically significant is he did it in 3.5 years. And I mean, it's just amazing. There are people in the state that spend 20 and 25 years as school board members and never get to that level. And so Ben, you're just amazing. And Dr. Robertson and I were kind of kidding a little while ago, and I was always that student that did just enough to get by. That was me. And I probably am still that guy today. But you were that guy that made 36 on the ACT and made the dean's list every time. And so, man, it's just unbelievable what you poured into. just an example for this board, an example for board members to come. And my goodness, just amazing. So congratulations.
I don't know that I can add a lot more than what the chairman's already said, but you know what I do think it takes in any profession or any job to be good is to be passionate, and whether people agree with you or disagree, no one can argue that you are not passionate about this job. So thank you for what you do. I've been on the good end and the bad end of that passion or time or two. But I appreciate you pushing not only this board, but our team to be better for kids. This is a huge accomplishment. Speaks loudly for your commitment, but I think it also signifies to this board that we're about learning, that we're about moving forward. And I know we've got a few more that are maybe headed your direction, but thanks for being the trailblazer for level 5. Congratulations.
Ben, show them your pen. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, show them all your stuff.
I got a piece of paper in a thing.
It's not a piece, it's a nice glass encased certificate that was issued in front of all the school board members in the state of Tennessee. Mhm.
I will keep it very brief because you guys know that I'm not usually. Thank you. I hope that the only thing that comes from this is that more of my peers share in this passion to educate, because at the end of the day, as a board member presiding over trying to make the best choices for education, it's important to educate yourself as well. And so never stop learning.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that takes us down to our disclaimer statement. I think we just have one. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And that's Ms. Jones. I think you're the only one.
Don't worry, y'all won't be having to listen to this for long. I declare that I have a family member who works for the school system, and that the board's vote on budget policy. Is that Larry again? Larry. Alma. Oh. Anyway, y'all know I have a family member that works for the system, and my vote may have an effect on my relative's employment. Even so, I hereby certify that I will cast my vote in the best interest of the school system.
Okay, thank you. So I need an approval for our consent agenda.
So moved.
You got a motion?
Second.
Second. Okay. You got a motion and second. Any items to be pulled?
Yes. I move first that to pull item 7.5.1, policy 1.40 from the consent agenda. That's the one about the meetings.
All right, so that's 7F1.
Yeah, it's listed differently on our paper. They changed it in the computer.
Okay, the way I'm seeing is 7F1. Is that
So it's-
correct?
No, it's
Yeah.
right on the paper. Sorry.
Okay.
1.4.
Right on the paper, not the computer.
Okay. All right, and that was one you wanted to pull. What was the other one?
Okay, I also move that we pull 7DF, the discussion about the MOUs from mental health.
Okay, now which one was that when it was, help me out here.
Request for approval
All right,
of
so that's,
authorized memorandum.
D,
7D.
7D.
Point of order. None of this is the consent agenda.
Right.
Yeah,
Pulling it
she's
for
full,
discussion.
she's full for discussion.
Just for
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah, well, if we pass them, we won't discuss it. That's the reason she wanted to pull.
Okay.
So the first one is 7F1, Board Policy 1.4 regarding the change in our meetings.
Okay. And so the other one, Mr. Connor, that she's wanting to pull is the request for the approval of the MOU. She's wanting to pull that for discussion.
Yes, there's 7F1 and 7DF.
7D1 F.
Yes.
7D1
One F.
What was the other one? 7F1.
Okay, anything else to be pulled?
This one, then that one.
Okay.
So
Nick.
for clarity for the record, she's pulling 7, which is under the approval of consent agenda.
Right.
She's proving 7F, Chief Strategy Officer Shannon Moody, 1 final read, 1.400 school board meetings for the
Correct.
public that's following us.
And to be clear, and thank you, Ms. Jones, on the paper agenda, that's actually item Roman numeral 9F1, which is why there's confusion. On the electronic agenda, it's
Under 9.
that's right.
Right.
That's why it took us a minute over here, and by us, I mean me.
Yeah. Our paper is actually correct.
Yeah.
It's under consent.
Mine's wrong.
agenda.
But the public's is not.
Okay, so
Okay.
maybe theirs is different.
If you print it early, it's probably not because it's
Okay, you're doing real good, Miss Jones. Talk about the other one she pulled.
okay.
You're doing very good. Thank you.
Second point of clarity, she's pulling 7, approval of consent agenda. D, Chief Financial Officer, Mary Ellen Houghton, CPA. 1, bids and contracts. 7, request for approval of authorized memorandum of understandings for RFP 26-22, school-based student mental health services. Is that correct?
That's
Yeah,
correct.
that's one of the.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, any other items to be pulled? Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Black?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, hold on. Before we discussion, sorry.
I'm sorry. We don't typically put policy in the consent agenda.
We have, sure.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes final reads.
Okay.
It's a final- it's a final read.
Okay. Yes.
Do you have a question, Ms. Connor? Do you
I
have a
would-
question?
No, I was just making sure that we were all
Okay, so you good?
copacetic. I think.
Everybody good? Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, all right, so now roll call.
Ms. Black?
Yes.
Mr. Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Ms. Haddon?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Keen?
Yes.
Mr. Slater?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Chairman Smith?
Yes. Okay, now we're going back to the items that were pulled. The first one, 7F1. Ms. Hayden, speak to that.
Yes, I move that item 7F1, policy 1.400 be referred to the policy committee for further discussion in our December meeting.
Second.
Wait, what?
We just want to move that to the policy meeting and not discuss it tonight.
Okay. So we're pulling it all together, is what we're doing. Okay.
Please say it one more time. That's the policy 1.400.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, right.
Just making sure.
We're just going to move it to the December policy meeting and discuss it at that time.
Okay, so she made a motion. I think I heard a second, didn't I? Okay. Any discussion? Everybody understand what we're doing here? Okay.
Well, and I guess to the public, this is regarding changing our work session to a different day and time.
So that'll be discussed as Ms. Felice said at the policy committee meeting. So roll call.
Mrs. Black?
Yes.
Mr. Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Mrs. Haddon?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Keen?
Yes.
Mr. Slater,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
Chairman Smith.
Yes. So the other item that was pulled was 7D1F. Ms. Felice, you want to speak to that? You pull it?
Yes, I know it's been a really hot topic, and I thought we should have a chance to discuss it and clarify things for the public, because I think it deserves the time. And I just think that we should clarify a couple of things. One, a couple of differences that you may or may already know about the current RP is that the services are to be offered during non-instructional time, mainly like before school, during lunch, after school, study halls, or any other like non-credit bearing time or slot during the school day. And so I just, for one, wanted to make that clarification. There's another thing that I just wanted to mention, that I, as a school board member, would like some feedback or some reports, and it can be quarterly, twice a year, or once a year, maybe from each vendor if it is approved, and just so we can get some data, because I don't think I ever saw any data before, and so we really didn't have a lot of knowledge about what was going on. So I'm thinking maybe two categories, like maybe the number of students per school or certain school, or each school, maybe grade level, frequency of service and length, topics, maybe grief, anxiety, family issues, whatever. No, I'm saying not. No, I didn't say the name. I'm saying anonymously, just the types of cases, not identifying any name or anything like that. You can't even say how many students you're serving in a school.
I think what would be a good idea is if this vendors get approved, we'll work with each vendor to come up with something that we'll bring back to the board that may fit that. Obviously, you know this well as the whole board.
I know. I was
There's
an
some
exec
things
teacher.
that we can't share, but we could figure out how to get some data in a way that would comply. But we're going to need to work with the vendors once they get approved and bring back
Right. I'm just saying, say they're approved, for future, just for us to just know,
Utilization. You want to measure utilization.
Utilization, thank you.
There's
And whatever complies with the HIPAA laws.
Yeah, and technically this isn't going to be a HIPAA issue for us. It might be for them, but there's easily a way we can get disaggregated data that measures utilization. Since we're going to have more than one vendor, I presume, it's going to take a little bit of thought about how to go about doing that, but it's reachable.
Since it's not, I have a question. Since it's not costing us anything, why do we need the data? Police.
Well, I think it's important to know in decision making. Why do we need to know anything?
Well, when
how
it comes
students
to
are successful. We're collecting a lot of data for student success planning and other things.
what will we utilize the data for? I guess that's what. That's
maybe future decisions. Maybe there's one company
on what though. That's
okay. Well, whatever may.
I mean, I'm just asking. Don't get snappy. I'm just trying to clarify.
I was snappy. I'm
just trying to clarify. What are we collecting the data for? Generally, when you collect it, because we're not paying any of these people to come up and do an RFP. They're doing it. I'm just thankful that you all are reconsidering doing what we should have done a long time ago. But I'm not trying to debate it. I was just asking though. I'm seriously just asking.
Right, and I'll be happy to answer. But say one vendor is serving 2 students total. Maybe we want to include a different.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, if that's what it takes for you to go for these children.
Well, I mean, when we're considering this a very serious issue, I feel like I had zero data to go on. I didn't know how many students were being served, what schools were serving it, what was going on, period. I mean, when I need to make a decision, I like to have information and always to base my decision.
All right, Mr. King.
And some of the data we might need and some of the data that I think we need. So again, this is just my opinion. We have, as said before, invested a little over 21 million in our seed coaches and our counselors and that. I'd like to know the number of students that they're serving in counseling sessions versus what these outside vendors are going to be serving in counseling sessions. And I was under the impression, do we have level, and again, don't know if it'll be a HIPAA violation or not. We have levels risk 1, risk 2, risk 3. Am I correct or am I incorrect?
You're probably referring
I
to
think
tier.
you're referring to tiered system,
Okay.
but I mean, to be clear, our counselors and social workers do serve some tier 3.
Okay.
Um,
And that was, so that would
situations.
be some of the data that I say we'd
Yeah,
probably like
I
to
think
see.
that we're getting caught up in details here of like what
Okay.
we can work with the vendors moving forward. We didn't have any of this in the RFP, so it's going to take us going back to them and to Mr. Bennett's point, it's probably utilization is what we're talking about.
Right.
There might be some other things, but we're more than happy to go work with the vendors and say what makes sense. Remembering it each year, so May or June, this comes back and you guys will vote again to approve. And we've got a 3-year period built in to where we don't have to go through another RFP. And that's maybe where it would be helpful to see some of this data, but we can work with the vendors. It's not in the current RFP, so we're gonna have to go with them and bring something back to you, but give us a few weeks.
Right, I understand
and
that.
bring it
Well,
back.
then this might be data we don't need as much from the vendors as we need from our own staff that we have put into place in every school. What level 1 or tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, no names and anything, just numbers. And as said, maybe categories. We'd like to get a better overall picture of what is happening to make better decisions.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. King. Ms. Jones?
So, for clarity, RTI is tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. That's instruction. There are some students based on certain things like homelessness that tier 3s, so forth and so on. So I think this is opportunity upon approving this RFP based off of what we've agreed to do with these vendors who have submitted RFPs and they're being recommended. One, we want to stick to that contract, right? What that looks like, that understanding. But aside from that, to my board peers who seem to not be fully aware of how some of the systems work, I think this is a great opportunity for education. So I would ask Dr. Robertson and his team to possibly, have we had board retreat?
We haven't this year yet, no.
Okay, so maybe when board retreat is upon board retreat, board retreat probably to be about a week. But I do think this needs to be in there as to what that looks like, how referrals are made through SSP, like how those things happen, because I don't think that we necessarily probably should look at agreements with these vendors more so than looking at the data that we already have. Because when you're receiving SSP referrals and certain things, they're being referred out. So that data is already within Hamilton County Schools. We don't have to further implore upon students' FERPA and families' HIPAA rights to get that information to make an accurate decision. And I'm speaking as a current Hamilton County School parent. I don't want to tell you that. The same way you didn't want some other stuff. If my child was receiving services, I don't think you need to know that. I need to know that as the parent, because that's where the discussion started in the beginning, that it was the parent's choice, who they wanted to expose them to, all of those things. So I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole, but I just want to be clear. If we're sticking to parent choice, then it is the parent's choice if we want you to know that. And I'm speaking on behalf of a family of 2 current Hamilton County parents. Nothing against those who have matriculated on, but we're currently living these decisions I'm making up here. And so I want to make sure I'm making the right decision for my child, because some people say we don't make decisions for children that we love, but I do. Because I got a 6-year-old little boy in the school and I'm making decisions every day up here for him. And so I don't want us to get in the weeds, but I do think we have to go back to what we're agreeing to do with these people and what we've asked them to do with us, and then have those first discussions. But I do think this, I don't know what y'all gonna plan for a retreat, but I do think there needs to be some education to board members on this. They might need to go through leadership in Hamilton County on what literally happens in Hamilton County schools, so they understand as they're making decisions here. And because I think that's fair for them to learn that. I think maybe we've done them an unjust service by not educating them.
Yeah, fair point. Good point. Mr. Connor, okay. Let me, is it okay, Mr. Connor? I didn't see that. I apologize. Let me come to you. All right, Ryan, go ahead, Ryan.
I want to begin by saying how much I appreciated y'all trusting us to be on the committee. I found it, reviewing the proposals, I found it to be a really insightful and educational experience. We had the opportunity to actually talk to each company face to face in the second meeting we had. And this is actually all my notes and annotations of all the proposals and stuff like that. So it really was an insightful experience. And it was a tough, the recommendation we came to, as you all know, was recommending all 5. And that was a tough decision to come to. It was not something that any of us took lightly, but we feel confident in recommending all 5 because they all have the qualifications we feel necessary to be in the school system. I'll also say, as the student representative, I'm not just thinking about myself when I do any of this. I'm thinking about Hamilton County students as a whole and the students I've talked with. So I really do feel like that this, as of now, is the best direction to go in to best serve all Hamilton County students.
Thank you, Ryan, for your, and not just you, but that entire committee. Thank you for your work. Now, Mr. Connor.
The time and the effort has been put in. It could not have picked somebody better to go ahead of me to showcase how much effort has been put in. So I call for the question.
Okay. I still have a couple of lights. Does anybody else just have a burning desire or questions been called for?
Yeah, it takes 2/3 vote to squash the debate. If you want to push the rule.
So take a vote on this.
And whether to.
I've got 2 more lights. If Mr. Connor, if it's okay, if I hear from them, or do you want to vote to stop discussion?
You don't need to call on me.
Please switch.
Okay. Now, okay. All right. Steve Slater.
I'll be swift. Do any of these companies have a quota?
No, sir, they don't.
Okay. The other thing I do expect out of our staffing at schools is to fully inform the parents of their choices. These are secular companies. Here's a faith-based company if you want it, and explain that to the parents fully. That's all I'm asking.
Miss Jackie, are you?
Is my light on? I don't have anything to say. I don't want nobody to change their mind for this.
Okay. Mr. Daugherty, last light.
Yep. I had a quick question, and I will be swift. Dr. Robertson, help me understand, what would the process be for the parental consent process? Let's say little Ben is designated that he needs maybe some additional support, mental health, and the recommendation from our staff. What's that process look like from that point to engaging with the parent to getting the consent form signed? What's that process looking like?
So actually got 2 sides of it, our side and the vendor side. So we are documenting on our side, and to Mr. Slater's point, part of it is recognizing that there are 5 options where parent would sign consent. At that point, we are leaving open, once they sign consent, do they want us to connect them to the person, or are they just going to connect on their own? And then each vendor has to keep consent as well. Remember, we also put in the RFP that anytime services adjusted, additional consent would be needed as well.
So they're going to engage a parent on the front end, right? They're going to get consent, and then they're going to say, hey, we feel that little Ben maybe needs a little bit extra help. Here are our options. At which point in time, to Mr. Slater's point, we would provide them with, I'm assuming,
Yeah,
a
we've got,
one-pager?
it's, yeah, front and back, but there's, I read the description the other day to Mr. Slater, like for one of the companies, but it's a very quick, I don't know if we have it with us, but a very quick, just description, background, who they are, how they provide services. So here it is. And it just goes through, it gives a little description, availability, method of service, because we've got some that are virtual, some that are in person, the types of services, and then the point of contact at that agency.
Got it. Thank you, Dr. Robertson.
Okay, questions been called for, so roll call, please.
Well, you know what? We don't have a motion.
We don't have a
We-
motion.
I
Thank
move
you.
to approve move to put it back on the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay.
Motion to approve
But you're right.
the suggested vendors by Ms. Jones, seconded by Mr. Connor.
Yeah.
Is that
Now,
correct?
And it's
That's
going
correct.
back on the agenda. Are we,
No,
we
we-
don't
no.
have to?
No,
Okay.
We're just approving.
Proving it, right. Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Black,
Yes.
Mr. Connor,
Vehemently, yes.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mrs. Haddon,
Yes.
Ms. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. King,
As long as they're not coming out of class, yes.
Mr. Slater,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
Chairman Smith.
Yes.
You got Mr. Growing on the,
He can't
He
vote.
can't
oh, it's leisure.
Okay. Okay, so motion carries, MOU's approved. Okay, that takes us down to administrative business matters, and I'll recognize Dr. Zach Brown.
Yes, sir. I think I need to get caught up with the agenda. Yes, sir. The first document we have, the LEA compliance report, is just our annual report that states that that we're in compliance with the state of Tennessee laws when it comes to classroom and licensure. We have no findings. That's just a report that needs to be signed off and submitted to the state.
Okay. Any questions for Dr. Brown? I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
No lights. Roll call.
Mrs. Black,
Yes.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mrs. Haddon,
Yes.
Ms. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Slater,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
Chairman Smith.
Yes. Dr. Brown, carry on. Hardstaff schools.
Yes, sir. This is, we discussed this last month. This is bringing this to your attention. Part of our recruitment strategy for FY27 is to maintain stability in our schools and also to not only recruit our special ed teachers, but also retain our special ed teachers. So this is really just us being very transparent that we would like to include this proposal inside of our FY27 budget. So what I'm asking from the board is that you approve this strategy. Of course, we've been able to open our classrooms with 99% filled. The one shortcoming has been our special ed classrooms, specifically our special programs such as our DCC, IDS, ME class, and CALM classroom. So the difference here, we've included our special programs part of Hard to Staff. And so what that means for our employees, if they elect to use their talents in one of our special classrooms, there's a retention strategy for them, as well as recruitment and retention ranging from $4,000 to $6,000. So this has just been very transparent that I feel that this strategy will maintain our staff, but also allow us to recruit educators for the upcoming school year.
Okay. Need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
No lights. Roll call.
Mrs. Black,
Yes.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mrs. Haddon,
Yes.
Ms. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Slater,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
Chairman Smith.
Yes. Dr. Brown, request for new and updated job class description.
Yes, sir. I'd like to start off with I am not asking for any new positions. This is
We're not
just,
giving it.
Not today.
Flat
No.
budget, flat budget.
No, but this is just our continuation to be in compliance with board policy 5.103 and 5.101 that we continually analyze and update our job descriptions. So in front of you, you have our new job titles, the purpose, and of course, the job descriptions to ensure that our employees understand what we're asking them to do. So again, this is with collaboration of our Evergreen study of making sure that our job descriptions are accurate. Best practice is every 3 years, we're always looking at job descriptions, updating to make sure we're in compliance.
I have a
Yeah,
question.
go ahead.
Yes, one thing that I would like to know, maybe in an email, is like, or for future references, to see what the current position's name is included with the new position name, so I know which ones are being renamed. You know, if it's there, I overlooked it, but I don't recall seeing the previous name position.
Yes, ma'am, I could do that for sure. So,
Okay, thank you.
Mr. King?
Yeah, and maybe I didn't read it enough. I'm going back because the other thing was 23 pages, the MOU RFP. But describe to me what an ed prep program administrator is. What?
Yes, sir. So the last 2 years, of course, this board voted part of our strategy for recruiting our career tech educational professionals. It's really when we hire, let's say, I've kind of simplified. If we need a welder, right? The state of Tennessee requires all of our teachers to be licensed. This is our ability now to license that welder, right? And so ultimately we are able to teach them the pedagogy because they already have the skill. But we are now, Hamilton County School, we partner with ourselves as an EPP to provide not only the classwork, really take about 18 months, but also allowed to award the license. Not only do we license teachers for Hamilton County, but we have also partners with other districts that reach out to us as well to license their CTE teachers. So in order to do that, by law, you have to have a facilitator administrator to make sure that we're in compliance. We're just like in the sense of UTC, UTK, where they are awarding licensure to math, science, et cetera. There's just unfortunately a lot of paperwork, a lot of red tape. And so Ms. Wilkerson does a great job of ensuring that we're in compliance. And we hope, just to give you a heads up, we hope to be able to add another strand this upcoming year to ensure that we have the right CTE teachers in our classrooms.
All right. So this would fall under the same thing as like who's administrating our Grow Your Own program and.
Yes, sir. This is really part of our Grow Your Own strategy. Like there's multiple ways of Grow Your Own. When we say Grow Your Own, typically you're thinking about our classified staff that want to become teachers, our EPP or educators because of their work experience. They come in, we're able to give them a provisional license, but they have 3 years to work towards their occupational license. So instead of sending them to another university or whatnot, we're able to train them on what we want, what we feel is the best for our CT teachers to award that license to work with the state.
All right. And we already have this position. It's just called something.
Yes, sir. So what we've learned, again, according to adjusting job description, of course, this position is in the talent office, is we now have a better feel what this position looks like, because when you start, you think one way, but to be very transparent with our employee, this is their body of work. So we've adjusted, but again, there's no change, just being very clear on, and I'm always thinking about the future. When I have to backfill, what am I looking for in an applicant when we need to replace?
All right. So the last question I have about this is what we have right now on a 260-day contract also.
Absolutely, because a lot of the coursework is happening through the summer. So of course, that person must be, available.
So no addition of days either. All right.
No, sir. It's occupied and no change in its count.
Okay, I just have a comment.
Okay, go ahead.
I like the move toward making more specific titles and all. I appreciate you doing that.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve new and updated job description.
Motion.
Second.
Okay. No lights, so roll call, please.
Mrs. Black?
Yes.
Mr. Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Ms. Haddon?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Slater?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Chairman Smith?
Yes. So takes us down to 403B, request to qualifications insurance. Dr. Brand, speak to that.
Yes, So I'm going to allow my partner, Penny Murray, to speak.
Okay.
As part of our current retiree options, we've had a 403B for quite some time. We are looking to consolidate that and have a sole source provider. We currently have 8 different investment companies that we worked with over the years. Some are still active, some are inactive. There is a huge fiduciary liability that we have as a district with this. So we are looking to put an RFQ out. Typically, we don't bring it to the board until we do so, but we want to be very transparent and make it be known that we are looking for a sole source provider to limit our liability as a district and to consolidate that into one. So we're working to put that together, and I have all the details for you that kind of outlines the why and what our liability is right now. It is. It's in the memo. Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. So I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
No lights, roll call.
Mrs. Black,
Yes.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Ms. Hadden,
Yes.
Ms. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Slater,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
Chairman Smith.
Yes. Retirement health insurance eligibility criteria. You going to speak to that, Ms. Penny?
Yes, and we actually spoke to this earlier. So when Brent was discussing kind of our urgent needs to address some of our expenses, we talked about retiree claims being about $8.7 million. And currently, retirees could potentially, if they meet the TCRS retirement eligibility and age requirements that we have, retire at 5 years and retain our medical insurance, but that's not sustainable. Looking at benchmarks with other employers, and in particular, I mentioned the state of Tennessee for other school districts who are on the state plan. You have to have been with that district for at least 20 years, and they're actually phasing theirs out. You have to work for them prior to 2015. So a lot of organizations, because it's so hard to sustain and it's so expensive. So what this is a first draft to work through some of those changes to that policy. And what we're looking at doing going forward is to make sure that folks who retire, and we want to take care of those folks who served our kids, to be eligible, have 15 years of service as a classified employee and 20 years as a certified employee. And that also follows the MOU that we already have in place for certified staff. So,
Ms. Jones.
So with the recommendation being to change it to the 20 years and the 15 years, that's for anybody new retirement,
That's
right? So
correct.
anybody that's currently
Yes,
in
ma'am.
place for retirement, even for up to. So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
So I know anybody previous, I hear that. So if I decided, yeah, I'm retiring too, and I got 15 years.
I don't know that you're old enough.
I'm just playing. But I do have 15 years. But I'm just saying. So say I was old enough and I'm retiring this coming May. Am I still included in the grandfather, or because we might vote on this before then, I'm excluded?
So in the document, I listed a grandfather date of July 1, 2026. Yes. And I did work extensively with Scott and Mary, so thanks so much to them for helping me pour through this. Initially, I had like a 40-page document. So we have scaled that down.
Okay, Mr. Daugherty?
Penny, remind me again, how many are currently enrolled in the retiree health insurance plan?
So it hovers around 400 employees. Plus, if they retire and currently are covering their dependents, then they can continue to cover them. So we, on or off, have about 400 employees plus or minus their dependents.
And it's an $8.6 million annual cost, right? Something to that effect.
Yeah, claims wise, yes.
Well, this is another situation where I do want to commend Penny, because although this isn't the biggest bucket of our health insurance plan, it certainly is a big bucket. I mean, $8.6 million should go a long way across the county. And to balance that, we want to do what's right, especially for our tenured employees. But again, this is an opportunity for us to look at, hey, what's sustainable, what's fair, what's right. And at the end of the day, 20 years, 15 years for this level of a benefit, I would personally say is very fair. So I think it's a great move and good idea.
Okay, Mr. King.
And this number doesn't change very often. It's pretty much hovers around that because
Yes, sir.
the number that turns 65.
Right,
each year.
because they only stay on our plan until they turn 65. That's correct.
Okay. No more lights. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Black?
Yes.
Mr. Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Mrs. Haddon?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Slater?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas? Chairman Smith?
Yes. Okay. Dr. Brown, thank you and your entire team. My goodness, you guys have your hands full in a big job taking care of 6,000 employees, and that's forever changing. And so just thank you and your entire team for what you guys do.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, that takes us down to district-wide relighting project. And Justin, come on up. We know what that is, but I would like for you to just kind of tell us so the public can know. 'Cause
Yes, sir.
This is exciting.
Very exciting about this project, and mostly because what you're voting on tonight is a 20-year impact on aesthetics, classroom light levels, but it will also reduce our energy consumption in lighting by 40%. So with that reduction in utilities, we're going to be able to cash flow, positive cash flow, the project.
Okay.
Any question?
Mr. Daugherty.
How are you designating which schools? I'm assuming just the oldest lights are
It is
tier one.
It's district wide. The only schools that we excluded were the schools that had LEDs currently, or if you notice, any schools that are on the current construction plan. So we'll pick those up during the new construction.
When assuming it passes, when would this start?
So with just noting the agreement, there are some contingencies there. So the contingency one is the partnership with TVA. There's about a $700,000 TVA incentive that will have to be approved. We will have to get approval from the county commission to go through ESI for the 1.5% loan. Hoping that will be the first of the year, maybe in the spring. I'm shooting for a summer project. The company that we've used before, they usually bring large crews in, do night shifts, and for example, they just did CSAS in about 4 days. So it should be a quick turnaround once we hit the ground.
So are you and Robert excited about project managing all these starting next year?
It's a really good company. I think the front end, once we have everything set up correctly on the front end, I think it'll go really smoothly.
Awesome. It's very exciting.
Okay. No more lights. Need a motion to approve.
Moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Black?
Yes.
Mr. Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Mrs. Haddon?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Slater?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas? Chairman Smith?
Yes. Okay, we got several first reads there that I'm sure we'll be taking those up at our policy committee meeting.
Yes.
Ms. Felice.
Yes.
So it takes us down to due process spending authorization. And I need a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
Have no lights, so roll call, please.
Mrs. Black?
Yes.
Mr. Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Ms. Haddon?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Slater?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas? Chairman Smith?
Yes. Okay, under board matters, policy 3.201, naming of new facilities. Just adding some wording there. Steve Slater, you're going to speak to that, please.
Yes, sir. Very briefly. Actually, Ryan and I have kind of worked on this together. Ryan Jenkins, that Ryan. And
Mr. Jenkins.
We have come up with some wording, and I would like for him and Shannon to get together on wording that and bring that back to us. Is that good with you guys? Okay, good.
So you're not asking for approval of this tonight?
No.
Because it's on here as a voting item, so we need to strike that or table
We
that.
can strike that until they get the wording away.
Yeah, because it's the original policy right here.
Okay.
They will work on a
Just table it.
draft that will be ready for the December 8th meeting.
No action. Okay, all right. So we're just gonna take no action at all on that item tonight.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, that takes us down to budget and staffing. Ms. Hayden, did you want to speak to that? You mentioned that you might
I want
want
to move, I move to defer that until the next finance committee meeting.
Okay, so we're just gonna push that item that wasn't a voting item anyway. So that'll be discussed at the next finance meeting. Okay. Okay. Okay, we got, in the way of announcements, holidays coming up, Thanksgiving, as you know, 26th through the 28th. Monday, December the 1st is our facilities committee meeting, and I believe it was it December the 8th was our policy and,
December 1st is facilities, December 8th is
Okay.
policy.
okay. All right, and then, December the 18th.
The 8th is policy. What time?
Yeah.
is
Oh, yeah,
policy?
legislative. Legislative is with the policy. Just found that out tonight.
Okay.
December 1st is facilities. At 5:30, Mr. King?
5:30, yes.
The first is 5:30.
Get a little bit more work.
And then, of course, our next work session on the 18th, followed by our quarterly meeting. Before I adjourn, I think there's something just really important we ought to recognize. So I'm going to call on Mr. Daugherty for just a second before we adjourn. Go ahead, Mr. Daugherty.
Thank you, Chairman Smith. It is with a heavy heart that, for anybody that's not aware, we had the passing of a teacher in our school system last, I believe it was Saturday. Patrick Daverson, who's actually my neighbor and a good friend of mine. And his oldest daughter was my kid's babysitter for 3 years. So I've grown to know him quite a bit. Every time I saw him, he always was joking, smiling. I never left, excuse me, I never left an encounter with him not feeling happier. He just had that kind of personality. It's always tough losing people, especially people that help kind of make this whole thing work in public education. They give their heart to do it. So I do just want to take a moment of silence and remember Patrick Daverson.
Just a moment of silence, please.
Thank you, Chairman Smith.
Amen. Okay. Did you have something, Mr.?
Well, and not only was he a teacher and coach, but in his off time, he also coached club soccer. So he's been around youth all of his life. So.
Amen. Okay. We stand adjourned.